excited. I have been sick. I've had a lot going on. I have not been crafting like I want to. So the fact that I'm finally gonna get my hands dirty with paint, hot glue, everything else, I'm so excited. Hey, welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you are here at A Little Bit of Common Crazy. My name is Jennifer, and this is another round of the Mystery Box Challenge, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to bust into this box. If you are brand new to this entire thing was organized by Courtney from Creative on the Cheap a couple of years ago, but this year she has us guest hosting with her, and the guest host for this month is Kelly Barlow from Kelly Barlow Creations. And you guys, Kelly did not hold back. Wait until you see what she asked us to do this round. Not only did Kelly not hold back, she created a shopping list for us because we absolutely needed it. So I grabbed my shopping list, I headed to Dollar Tree, and this time around I was so happy because I got to actually do the shopping for Kelly. So I packed up all the items, put them in a box, sent them to her. So if you want to know what I sent Kelly this time, make sure that you head over to her channel after this. I would be absolutely shocked if you don't already watch Kelly, but if for some reason you don't, you absolutely need to. She is a gem. She's so sweet, genuine, and you are going to love her. Now, I am so excited because I get to open up my box that was sent to me from Christina at Christina Elizabeth, and I can't wait to see what she sent. Okay, got my handy dandy box opener, so we are opening this up for the very first time so we can peek inside together. Okay, here's a little peek into the box. Start off with, I have a card, and oh, she looks like she sent me a couple little treats. I am so excited. Oh, look at those. Some yummies to have while I'm crafting. Jennifer, happy Mystery Box Challenge. How fun it is that I get to send you another box. Hopefully you won't find the items I sent too challenging. I can't wait to see what you create. Happy crafting, love, Christina. Right off the bat, I can tell I'm gonna love some of these items. I got to see them because they're right on top. But Kelly did give us a shopping list. For our shopping list, the first 3 items were Cinder's Choice. Number 4 was something made of wood. Number 5, a farm animal. Number 6, something galvanized. 7, a gardening tool. 8, a kitchen utensil. Number 9 and 10, those are our challenge items. Kelly has us doing one of them, which is dirt. I'm sorry, Kelly, I live in Dallas area, which our dirt is special, so have fun with that. And number 10, again, is our choice. So let's dive in and see what all I got with this. So we're gonna start right off with this greenery. That is so pretty. It came from Hobby Lobby. That will be fun to work with. I'm excited. Okay, this is beautiful. This is a ribbon. It kind of has like that burlap texture, but it has the florals going down it. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun to work with. So the twist that Kelly gave us this time is that we have to incorporate either burlap or twine in every single project that we create. So I'm curious how much I'm gonna be using this because this will be fun. This is so cute. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It looks like she got it at Hobby Lobby and on clearance. Oh my goodness. That is so much fun. I love trays, containers, anything like this. Like, this is so up my alley. Number 4, the wood item. She sent me a wooden rolling pin. Okay, this will be fun. I like this. Okay, for the, this is so cute, farm animal. I got the little stack. So you get your rooster, your pig, and your cow. This came from Hobby Lobby, and it says egg, milk, bacon. That's just really cute. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it to change it up, but that's really cute. My galvanized metal, she sent me a little sign, the corrugated one that comes from Dollar Tree. I love these. I actually have some of these. Definitely I can do something with this. I am getting so excited. Gardening tool, again, another one from Dollar Tree. I got this little, what do you call this? Rake, what do they call that? Cultivator, so you can like scrape your dirt. No idea. Honestly, this could fall into the challenge item of items because it's gonna be challenging. For my kitchen utensil, she sent me this beautiful wooden spoon. I love the darker wood over that light unstained wood. This is how do you say that, y'all? Somebody tell me how to say it. Acacia wood. It's just pretty. I love this. Okay, for the challenge items, like I said, we were told specifically about one challenge item. It was to send dirt. I did see that some people were a little bit more creative with this than I was. Oh, Okay. She sent me a potting mix, all-purpose potting mix, and she wrote the little tag on there. And for the mystery item that she got to choose, sender choice. This is so pretty. Okay, here we go. This is the part I always get nervous. I got swim goggles. Is it a frog or an alligator? I can't, like big eyes like a frog, but it has teeth, so an alligator? Like, I don't even know. I have no idea. Swim goggles. She didn't hold back, did she? Nope, nope, nope. But let me tell you, I don't even care. I'm so excited to get into all of this, and I know I will come up with something really fun with that. At least I hope. If not, I'm gonna have fun trying. With a snap of the finger, let's get to it. Right off the bat, I knew I wanted to start with this metal plaque. I'm so excited because I've had an idea for a couple years and I'm finally going to do it. Not only am I using this metal plaque, but I grabbed these other two that come from Dollar Tree. Now the stars that are on here, they're just screwed in so you can simply unscrew them and they will pop right off. But then they have this little backing on here. Now the one you saw, it just came right off, but the other one was stuck on. So I just went aggressively in to like pop this off. Now I will tell you, you probably want to heat it up with a heat gun before you do that so that you don't gouge your finger like I did. Lessons learned. To paint these, I chose Crimson and Night Sky from Waverly. Now, I'm going to tell you, I stuck with Crimson and I painted all three of the plaques this color, but I will be changing my mind up on Night Sky. It wasn't quite as blue as I wanted. Now, because these are a shiny surface, you want to go in and paint them, leave them alone, let it completely dry, and then you can go in with a second coat. And if you just let it cure, you won't have any issues. If you are concerned because it's shiny, you can use like a de-slick product first and then paint them. But I find that the Waverly paint sticks pretty well. Now, like I said, I went ahead and I changed up my color. I'm using Ocean by Waverly instead of that Night Sky, and it definitely was a better blue for the purposes of what I'm doing. If you can't tell, we're definitely going with Americana 4th of July theme here. After your paint is completely dry, then you can grab your twine and some beads. Now, I pulled the beads from this item that Christina sent me. I just cut it apart and grabbed 2 of the beads to go on back of the stars. Now, I will come back to those farm animals in a moment, but let's get back to this project. You're simply going to glue the beads to the top of your stars, making sure that your holes are showing on the sides, that you do not cover up your holes. And then you can thread your twine, your rope, through your plaques and your stars. So I'm doing a smaller plaque on the outside, the stars, and then the larger plaque is in the center. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is you want to make sure the twine is behind the plaque. So make sure you start in from the front, loop it around the back, and then come back. Now, because of it being a shiny surface, I wanted to make sure that that paint did not peel once I add some vinyl. So I did decide to go in with some matte Mod Podge. My one tip with this is just get it on. Don't mess around with it. It will dry clear, but if you play with it too much, you'll find that you get more streaks, and you don't want that. Now, the very last thing you want to add would be your letters, and I use my CRICUT to cut out the USA. If you don't have a cutting machine, then you can definitely trace out some letters. I would do it on some vinyl, but you could do some paper or cardstock if you want to as well, depending on where you're placing it. If it's inside your home, it won't get ruined. If you put it outside, you definitely want to make sure you use vinyl. But I think this turned out super adorable. I love it. So simple and easy, but perfect for the 4th of July. Because I know that you're not going to want to miss any of these videos, there is an entire playlist that Courtney puts together. So I'm going to leave that playlist link for you in the description box so that you can go hit Kelly's video next and then just keep on going so you don't miss anyone's fun creative projects. Not only do we want you to watch our videos, but we want to hear from you. And so now Courtney has also added in a voting part of this. So again, in the description box, I'm gonna leave that playlist, but I'm also gonna leave a link so that you can go vote on your favorite DIY, the hardest challenge, the best intro. You get the drift. So go ahead, vote so that we can hear from you. And in 1 week, you'll get to find out who the winners are. It is time to come back to these farm animals, and I'm really excited about this project. To start off with, after we separated them, I did want to add a bead to each one of these to give a little bit more of a decorated element. Now, this is where my twine comes in handy. To help me get through these pieces, I'd love to use some painter's tape, and I just twist it so I have a nice pointed end, and then it just threads like a needle. To thread these, I went animal, bead, animal, bead, animal, bead. And I know you're thinking, isn't that what it was before? Yes, but we're not leaving it that way. Once I get them through, I'll show you what we're doing next. Now, another tip, if you're going through something like this, not only do you want that tape on the end, but if you twist your twine as you go through, now make sure you're twisting the twine in the same direction that it's already twisted, it will push through a lot simpler. Once I had them all threaded, I did go ahead and I cut them apart, making sure I had some of that twine above and below the animal. Now, to secure the twine and hold the bead in place, I simply did a knot on the bottom, and then I cut off the extra twine, and then I did the same thing on the top of the bead, and I cut off the extra twine. Now, with the rooster, that it was a little bit different because I couldn't have a knot at the bottom, so I did have to hot glue that twine into the hole at the bottom of the rooster, but that was the only difference. To finish up these projects, I grabbed 3 of these fat clothespins, and this is Waverly in sandstone, but it's a little bit lighter than I wanted, plus I wanted some texture, so this is the perfect reason to pull out this planting mix or potting mix um, and to add that texture in, and it does deepen the color ever so slightly, but not quite enough. So I'll show you what I do next, but I went ahead and I painted this all on, covered it completely inside and out. Then I went straight in with a little bit of this potting mix, brushed it on, rubbed it into the paint. I wanted to do something a little different than I did last time when I used some dirt in my video. So if you haven't seen that mystery box, you definitely need to check out that project because I loved it. Now, as you can see, these still are a little too light and they don't quite go well enough with the animals. So to darken that up and to make these clothespins look really aged, like they have been weathered outside, we are pulling in a little bit of Apple Barrow's Burnt Umber. Now this has the perfect kind of like reddy undertone that will help these look perfectly aged. Now I'm going in with a dry baby wipe, but you could also use like a paper towel, and I'm rubbing it on. What this is doing is also removing some of that texture, mixing everything together. By all means, I am not going for these to look like perfect. I don't want them to look new. I want them to look aged, like they have been outside. And so as you put the paint on and you rub, you just get that variance in the wood. And I will definitely be doing this again in the future because I loved the outcome. From here, you simply just hot glue those clothespins to the back of the animal. And just like that, you have a recipe card holder. What a fun gift this would be for somebody. I really think it is just super fun, adorable. And if you have someone that's into farm animals, I guarantee they will love this. I wasn't kidding when I said that this could have been a challenge item, but I have a fun idea. To start off with, I just want to separate the handle, and I'm just using a hacksaw to do that. It will saw right through the metal. It does take a moment, but it will get the job done. I am using my desk vacuum to clean up that mess, and if you haven't got one of these, you should consider it. It is so helpful if you are a crafter. Now back to this little project. If you have some rough edges, you can sand them, but we will be covering that up. So it's not necessary. I just don't want to cut myself in the process of working on this, and I'm a klutz. You will also need like a little placard. This one came from Dollar Tree, and we will be using that to secure this hook on top of it. So while you have that sandpaper out, sand the edges of that and get it all prepped and ready. Now let's move on to how we are going to use this little 3-prong hook. We are simply going to cover this entire thing in twine, starting with the top of it. I like to twist it around. I do secure it with a little bit of hot glue at the top, and then I repeat it at the bottom where I kind of left a little bit out. I make sure that the hot glue holds that in place as well. Now, twine tends to have these little hairs that stick out. If you want to get rid of them, you can burn them right off and they will go away. Now, to keep this from sliding off, I do have these little wooden pieces. They come from Hobby Lobby. You get them in the wood section and you can put it right on top and it will have a nice tight fit and you won't have the twine going anywhere at all. From there, go ahead and cover the rest of this in twine. I just take one leg at a time. I wrap it around, single layered. Now the very end will poke out a little bit, but don't worry, we have more of those little wooden pieces to cover that up. Now for the center one, let me get back to you on how you're gonna keep that one on because it actually is a little bit thinner. To help you as you cover, you do want to do a little crisscross over that center to cover up all the wood, or sorry, all the metal, and then you can just keep wrapping. Once you have it all the way wrapped, for that center one to keep that little wooden knob on, you are going to need some hot glue. I personally like to fill up the hole and then push it on, and that hot glue will just adhere to the twine and it won't go anywhere at all. You can leave it like this, or you can add some color like I am. I'm using DIY. This is Farm Fresh. I think it's a beautiful color. I absolutely love it. And I painted the wood plaque and all the knobs that exact same color. Now, I did want to decorate the plaque a little bit more, so I grabbed this stencil and some white paint. Now, one thing to remember when you are stenciling is that you want to offload your brush. You do not want it to be super thick with paint. That is how you get the bleed under. So get rid of a lot of the paint. It'll almost feel like it's dry, and then you can pounce your brush into that stencil and you will be super happy with the outcome. To soften up my paint a little bit, my stencil as well as the edges, I'm using a very fine grit sandpaper to do that. And now it is time to add the hook onto the plaque. To do this, I'm again using some more twine. I folded it into three, and then with my staple gun, I secured that as tight as I could to that top of that handle and then cut off the extra. Now I wanted a bow and I want that would help to cover up that. So I just take it, wrap it around my fingers like 3 times, and then take another piece, wrap it around the center and tie that off into a knot. But before I added the bow, I felt like this needed to be secured a little bit more. So I grabbed some more twine, I doubled it up this time, and then I threaded it through those bottom hooks. So it came around that center hook, take it up to the top, twist it around, tighten that down, and then again went in with my staple gun. This hook is going nowhere. To finish it off, I popped that bow on, and now you have a hook that you can use anywhere. I'm using it here for like craft supplies, but it could go in the kitchen, it could go in the bathroom. Honestly, anything you need to hang or hook can go on this. I absolutely love this greenery. It is nice, dark, and wispy, perfect for making a wreath. So here I have a grapevine wreath form. I reuse these over and over, and you can pick them up at any sort of craft store, Walmart, it doesn't matter. So for this leaves, I just went ahead and I just cut them apart so they're in 3 different sections. I bent the wire to curve it so it would form onto that wreath form. And then I just embed the ends right into those vines. I hate to hot glue these because I like to be able to redo them whenever I want. And so I put 2 towards the top and then 1 more at the bottom to really give it that cascading look. But to finish this off, it needs a bow, and it's the perfect time to pull in that ribbon that Christina sent me. Now I am all about doing the easiest bow ever, so let me show you how I do it. I just kind of measure out what size I would think my bow needs to be. I fold that ribbon in half and then that's where I cut. I fold the ribbon in half again and I go about an inch to an inch and a half longer than that first section, and then I repeat it. I'm going to have 3 different loops on each side for this one, so I only need 3 pieces of ribbon, but you can make your bow as large as you want. Once you have all 3 pieces, go ahead and you can use some hot glue to secure those pieces together so that you have one continuous loop, and then you will stack them with the largest on the bottom and the smallest on the top. Take 1 more piece of ribbon, that's going to be your tail that you will leave open, and that will go on the very bottom. Then you're going to scrunch up your ribbon in the center, and I'm using twine to wrap around it several times to hold that center together. taking the extra twine that's left on the edges, that's how I wrap it around the wreath to secure it. As simple as that. You have a really easy bow. Now all you need to do is fluff up your sides. I like to also cut the ends of my ribbon. I like to dovetail them or fishtail them. I've heard both of those. And technically, I still don't know which is correct. Once your bow is fluffed up, then your wreath is done. And I love how this turned out. It's so simple and easy to do, but it just has really a great impact. You can hang this indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter. Simply beautiful. As soon as I saw this rolling pin, I had an idea and I'm so excited to be able to do this. So to start off with, I have this wood round that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. You could also do a wooden plaque. It doesn't matter. Anything that round will do for this. And then I have these little wooden pieces. These again came from the wood section at Hobby Lobby. They come in a package. Now I'm going to actually put the smaller side against the wood round and the larger side is going to come out, but I needed to fill the hole so that I had a little bit more surface area. So that is what I'm using the twine for and some hot glue to secure that down. Now to secure these to the wood round, I did a combination of both wood glue and hot glue. So the hot glue is going to be that instant hold and the wood glue is going to be that permanent hold that this needs. Now you're going to glue all 4 of those wood pieces down on the bottom of this wood round, creating feet. So make sure that you glue them just about 3/4 of an inch from the edge. The rolling pin is just a slightly too long for what our purpose is. So I did take it out, trim it down, and cut off that very end of it. I also, at the same time, went ahead and found the center of my wood round, and I got the center of my rolling pin. Now I pre-drilled a pilot hole so that I would not have anything splitting, and I'm just screwing the 2 pieces together. And if you can't tell what it is that we are making a paper towel holder. Now you can leave it the natural wood if you want to, but of course I wanted to add a little bit of color and I'm using DIY's Farm Fresh, which honestly, this color has a very like historic blue tone to me. I love it. I have this color throughout my house. It is one of my absolute favorite colors. Now, something about the DIY paint is when it dries, it actually dries lighter than what you see when it's wet. However, if you go back in and seal it with wax, you get that deep dark color again, and I love this color. Now, I wouldn't say this is beautiful, but I would say it is so useful, and that pop of color I just think is icing on the cake. I love this. I think this with like that recipe card holder and what I'm about to show you all together would make a great gift for people. Oh, how fun would this be in your kitchen? Speaking of kitchen, let's tackle this wooden spoon. I, again, love this color, but I picked up this twine off of Amazon. I love this color. I think it is great. To elevate this, and remember, I also have to use twine or burlap in every project. I'm taking just a tiny bit of hot glue to secure the twine down in place, wrapping it around the handle. I don't want to go all the way because I want to make sure that when I'm stirring things in a pot that the twine's not necessarily getting in there, but I am going to show you how we're going to protect that twine so that we can wash this. So hang tight for that. Once you have twisted that twine around as far as you want it to go, again, go ahead and secure it down with a little bit of hot glue. That will be a temporary hold. I do have a more permanent one coming up again. But because the twine does have those little like hair-like things, you can take a lighter to kind of singe those off and get rid of them. Then you're going to want to use some Mod Podge, but not any Mod Podge. This is a hard coat Mod Podge. It actually is meant for furniture, so it will be super protectant. It's water repellent, but it does take about 4 weeks to cure. So if you are thinking about gifting this for anybody for Christmas, this is the time to kind of get on this now so that you have plenty of time for it to harden up completely. It does take about 5 layers, so go ahead and put a coat on it, let it dry, then come back, add another coat, and just keep going. Now, once you have completely like set it aside, let it dry, and it's hard, it kind of has, some of those hairs will stick up and it feels kind of pokey. You want to get rid of those. So you can take a fine grit sandpaper and sand it and just keep feeling it and seeing that it is like smooth to the touch and comfortable for your hand to hold it. But after that, this is completely done and it just really elevated this spoon. Believe it or not, this basket was the hardest thing for me to think of something to do, probably because I like the way it already looks. I decided to dip right back on into a color that I have already used, but before I could do that, I needed to take this apart. Luckily, the metal part of it is just screwed right on into the bottom, so that was easy. And here again, I'm using DIY and Apothecary. I, again, love this color. I think Apothecary and the Farm Fresh go so well together. They are just complementary of each other. And I painted both the bottom of the thing and the metal, everything got a coat of this. Once it dried, I did go in with the wax to seal it all, to keep it in place. Sealing it will make it so much easier to like dust this off and keep it clean. Now, once it was all sealed, I did go ahead and reattach the two pieces together. And then of course I still needed to add the twine. And so because of the little gradient of the metal, I was able to just take that twine, thread it through all the way around, and then tied it off into a bow. I do think this turned out beautiful because I love this color so much. Now, right now I have it with bathroom items, but this would be great in a kitchen. It would be great in a craft room, which honestly, that might be where I end up putting it because it's just a good container. Have you been waiting to see what I did with these crocodile swim goggles? Yep, crocodile, that is what I've landed on. To start off with, I just needed to take them apart because I really need to know what each part was so I could get a better understanding of what I could do with it. And once I had them taken apart, I knew immediately what I wanted to do. I landed on using one of the eyepieces as well as this paper. Now, we're making a card, so I have a piece of cardstock cut in half and then folded in half, and I'm tracing around this image on this other piece of paper and getting it to be the exact size that I need it to go on the back of that eyepiece. To secure it to the eyepiece, I'm just using some super glue and securing that down. Now, you could also fill this up with like some glitter or some other things and make it into a shaker. For this one, I opted not to. Now, to get the rest of the paper all ready, I wanted this blue color to be slightly smaller than the tan card base itself. So I trimmed it down to be 1/4 of an inch all the way around smaller. And then I trimmed off just a little section of that striped original paper to add another level of dimension and elements to this. To really make that stripe paper work for me, I did go ahead and cut in like a little dovetail, fishtail. Again, I mentioned I never know what you call it. It's a little V shape. To secure all this down, I am using some card adhesive or scrapbooking adhesive glue. It's called Tombow, but you could use Elmer's glue as well because honestly, who's going to keep this forever? Probably nobody. And I just layered them up. And the final thing was to add this little element onto it. And I'm using twine to secure that down. So loop the twine through the top of the eyepiece, around the card, and then back up through the bottom and tied it off into a bow to keep it nice and tight. Now all I have to do is write a little message on the inside. The next time I need a card, I am all ready to go. I had so much fun. It's been a while since I've made a card, and it reminded me why I love doing it so much. Whether you are watching or crafting along, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Make sure that you let me know which of these projects is your absolute favorite. Don't forget, in the description box is the playlist so that you can watch everyone else's videos. Kelly's is up next. I hope you have happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.